Welcome to The Bottom Line on AI, the podcast where we explore the transformative role of artificial intelligence in the world of finance. I'm your host, Srividya Kannan, and today I'm extremely thrilled to have with us Sambasivan G, the Chief Financial Officer of Tata Play. With over 30 years of experience in senior finance and general management roles, Samba, as he is popularly called, has been at the forefront of driving transformation projects across industries. Known for his philosophy of discipline, dedication, and determination, he has successfully led initiatives like Vodafone's Project Tiger, and he has a knack of blending technology with strategic decision making. I've seen and personally worked with him on so many engagements where I've seen his enthusiasm, his dedication, his passion, and his interest for bringing in a major difference with innovation. Samba, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you very much. I'm really honored to be the first in line for this topic. Honored to be part of this, and I would like to chat up as to what lay in ahead of us. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Samba. So, Samba, for every finance department, they typically face a whole lot of challenges. And before Tata Play actually embraced AI, what were some of the operational bottlenecks or strategic blind spots that kept you up at night?
Yeah. So I will tell it like a story in Tata Play. I joined the company about 13 years back in 2013. And when I started the journey in Tata Play, I already had nearly about 20 plus years of experience, right? So it is not the first time I am becoming a CFO. In fact, I had become a CFO
Right.
much earlier in life, even in the 1990s. So I've
Mhm.
been playing the role of a CFO for a long time. And in between, I was also playing the role of a CEO. So when I joined this company, this was in the incipient stages, meaning the company was just 7 years old. So in a 7-year-old company, one would not expect a great advancement in technology or process efficiency or data maturity. These are things which will take typically a few years' time to catch up. The
Mhm.
focus was more on business and growth of the business. We were growing really very fast. So the systems and processes were taken a little bit of a backseat. I would not
Right.
say it was not there, but it was a backseat,
Mhm.
and they were coming along, right? We were trying to automate. So the biggest challenge when I had was to make sure that the systems, processes, controls were properly written down, they were
Mhm.
documented. Everybody knew the systems, everybody was following the process, they were all available
Mm.
in one single portal. What is the level of automation we could do? What are the things which we can automate? What is manually to be done? What are the things to be outsourced? What we should do inside? So these were the kind of talking points, not AI, not AI or not ML, right?
I'm sure.
The
Yes.
basics
Mhm.
have to be first set right, which is basically system, process, and controls and audits. So the culmination of these system, process, and controls will come out in the audit report, be it internal audit or statutory audit. We were
Right.
not having such good audit reports when it had come. There are a lot of audit issues which were there. So we had to address all those basic issues, the fund, what we call as a hygiene. So
Mm.
then once you have done those, which took about 3 4 years, then the topic changes in terms of
Right.
strategic advisor, business partnering, data analytics, insights, and all those things will come much later in life. So which was around 2017, I think, is when we
I
started
see.
the journey around business partnering, which was about 8 years
Mhm.
back, which was 4 years after I had joined. So till
Mhm.
that time, we were setting our house in order. Once you got into business partnering, you are really entering into understanding the business and getting to support the CEO in the strategic objectives of growth, profitability, return on capital employed, and all those things.
Mm.
After you have done your basics right. So this is what
Right.
kept me awake in the initial period. And after that, then we journeyed on to AI/ML. We started with robotic process automation. For 2 3 years we were
Mhm.
doing that. Then we got into
Right.
AI, then we got into ML, then we got into other things which we are currently working on. But it is a
Excellent.
slow and what you can say deliberate journey.
Yes.
Not you cannot jumpstart these things.
Was there any such, aha moment or a spark where you said, now we need to get into AI and this is how it's going to benefit our organization? Was there any such kind of moment?
It
Mm.
was like an organic
Mm.
transformation, I would say.
Mm.
So we started first by saying that our people have to start believing in technology.
Right.
So one of the pillars of finance is working on the latest technology. So what we did
Mm-hmm.
was, first of all, people need to understand technology and
Mm-hmm.
also start using the technology once they have understood it.
Right.
Give an example of, say, AI. So we have various tools, right? Now people are
Mm-hmm.
learning about Copilot, but earlier they were learning about other technologies. So once you start learning, you can only implement what you have learned. My biggest
Mm-hmm.
objective was to get a work life balance for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought AI was going to be one great tool for
Mm-hmm.
bringing the work life balance in a better way while improving the efficiency of the organization.
Right. That's great,
So,
actually.
yeah.
And how about aspects of ROIs and business case justification, convincing the board to invest in projects like these?
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of good practices or success metric? How it has really, how have you gone about doing it?
Yeah, it's a very good question. In fact, this is the one which we keep asking ourselves. And in fact, my MD also asked we should look at ROI very closely. I totally believe in ROI. Having said that, when we are getting into these kind of unknown territories, for me, AI is kind of unknown. So, somewhere while we do the ROI and do the expectation, there are certain things I believe which we cannot quantify.
Mm.
I'll give a very simple example of a story, right?
Mhm.
When we were not having any of these AI tools, we were having some people working on certain projects in a certain way, and they were taking some time to doing it. And if they would sit back and work for till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and
Mm.
they used to go home late. Now, after using technologies, not necessarily AI, but also automation, RPA, and
Mhm.
everything, people have started going home early.
Mm.
Second is that the hybrid model is working better in terms of half the people coming to office for 3 days and the remaining people coming for 2 days. So we are able to work between office and home in a seamless manner. So
Mhm.
because of this, what happens? Your work-life balance improves, your relationship with your family improves, and your stress levels go down, and your
True.
health cost goes down.
Yes.
How do I quantify the benefit? It's very difficult to put a number
Indeed.
to the uh, health cost which is saved and
Health
your
cost.
relationship which has built better with your daughter or son, because you are now going able to go and attend the parent teacher meeting which you
Mm.
are otherwise not attending, and
Mm.
because of which your daughter is happy. I can't put a number to that. Now we are
Mm.
able to do that, all of us are able to do that regularly,
Mm.
which is a big thing. So the for me, that number I can say is that when we looked at the employee engagement score,
Mm.
which used to be, say, 52 10 years back when things were not in
Mm.
great shape, now it has gone to 91 in a span of 10 years.
Wow,
So
that's
that tells
impressive.
us, and we were the lowest 10 years back,
Mm.
which function was the lowest, and now we have reached the highest
Mm.
across all the functions within the company.
I
And this
see.
is
Okay.
one testimony.
Mm.
And second testimony I can say is that the churn rate or the employee turnover, which is a big problem, particularly
Mm.
in the finance field. I remember people coming and asking me, other CFOs talking to me, how do you retain people? And my there's a turnover rate of, say, 30%, 25%, 30%,
Mm.
35%, and all. When people are really qualified, they start leaving
Mm.
the organization. Somehow we are able to retain the talent because of various things which I can talk about later. But you are also able to use technology in a way so that the mundane jobs are not being done by qualified engineers or qualified chartered accountants or qualified MBAs, and they are now able to do the value added jobs. It is like Abraham Maslow's need hierarchy theory, where you move from the basic needs to the superordinate goals. 70-80
Mm.
percent of credit to the technology, which has enabled our team to work in a certain way that they don't do the mundane jobs anywhere, and they do only value added jobs. So this is a very big thing from employee retention and the employee skill set development point of view.
Right. I'm extremely delighted to have someone speak about impact of AI on the betterment of people at work. We've seen typically there is a lot of, I would say, hesitance towards technology as a result of what negative impact it can bring on jobs. But my next question to you is, as we speak about use cases for AI, and typically, this is just a question that many organizations struggle with and many CFOs struggle with: which use case to pick for with AI? How did you go about doing it? What was your first beachhead, kind of project? Was it more to do with something got to do directly with employee related aspects, or was it something else?
We started actually one of the AI projects actually was an ML project, machine learning project, which later on became a little bit of an AI project through a summer trainee. So when one of the summer trainee from one of the IIMs came, I think 4 or 5 years back, we gave one project on fraud management. I'll just very briefly articulate what this project was about. So, as part of the revenue assurance team, which looks at is there any fraud, is the revenue is properly coming, are there any malpractices happening, we are used to making certain calls through an outsourced agency for a certain set of customers, saying that is this genuinely correct customer you're getting, or is there any malpractice which is happening. So we were selecting a sample of calls to be made based on certain set criteria, which means that
Hmm.
if there are, say, I'm just giving you a hypothetical case, if there are, say, 100 customers we have planned to call, and this
Mm-hmm.
100 is a subset of maybe 500 customers or 1,000 customers, we take a sample of 10%.
Right.
So if 1,000 customers, new customers join our network in a month, we may call 100 customers, and we say that out of this 100 we may find about 20 or 25 where they are suspicious in nature, right?
Hmm.
So these, I need to find out 20 from this 100,
Hmm.
which means there's a hit rate of, say, 20%. But I have to spend for all the 100 customers because I need to make a call. We have to spend some money for every call,
Hmm.
and it's a large number, meaning. So then,
Right.
by using the project or the criteria which the system said, based on some
Mm-hmm.
70-80 criteria, we were
Mm-hmm.
able to nail down on the suspicious cases by a very large number. Instead of calling 100, we said we will now call only 40, out of which we can find out all the suspicious cases, which we were able to.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
what has happened? My calling effort for 100 has been saved by 60%.
Right.
There's a 60% cost savings, and this runs into lakhs for a year, and
Hmm.
it will run into crores if I take multiple years.
Right.
So this is one project which we were proud about, and that gave me
Mm-hmm.
the clear confidence that we can really do something for improving efficiencies in a big way, and the level of improvement is like what you cannot imagine.
Hmm. True. Yeah, I read about that project as well. I think it's a very interesting initiative. But as we speak about the impact of jobs and AI, and talking a little bit about that, what is your view about two things that, one is about job displacement and the concern about that. And as we see a lot of layoffs and the stories that are going on more recently, do you agree that, some of these displacements could be because of AI? That's question one. Secondly, related to that, with respect to upskilling and people, and how you could actually make better use of AI to actually have people use those technologies that you have invested on. What would you call as some of the good practices on that?
So
Hmm.
what is AI basically? AI is basically a tool. It is like internet, or it is like what you can say, when the cars were produced, right? If you go back
Mhm.
100 years back,
Yeah.
prior to the cars getting ubiquitous, what was the transporting mechanism? The transporting mechanism was horse carriages.
Right.
So in those days, when the cars came in, and the biggest impacted people were those who were owning these horses and horse carriages, because they became overnight, they became redundant.
Yeah.
And in fact, the largest holocaust which is unspoken is the horse holocaust, which nobody talks about.
Hmm.
The point what I'm trying to say is that that is a non-living, kind of non-human being which is getting replaced by another. It was a living getting replaced by a non-living being,
Non-living thing.
which is similar to what we are having today.
Hmm.
But what is the difference? That horse actually could not speak. Horse doesn't have a way of getting out of cars. Horse doesn't know what to do if cars are there. But humans know what to do when AI is there. There's a fundamental difference. We have got something called brain, we have got something called empathy, we have got something called, what you can say, superordinate thinking, and all those things, right? In my personal view, in fact, today morning we were sharing one information in our WhatsApp group about whether
Hmm.
AI will replace humans or not. And the collective response was that unless you have AGI, which is artificial general
Artificial.
intelligence, which is very far away, AI cannot replace or even does not have the skill set to replace humans in toto. Just as an example, even today, when you do crossword puzzles, the manual crossword champion is better than the best AI crossword champion, even today. Whereas in the matter of chess, back in 2016 itself, you had Alpha Zero. In fact, back in 2000 itself, Gary Kasparov lost to Deep Blue. And
True.
there was an ascendancy of chess being overtaken or dominated by technology. But that is not the case. So humans have certain brain power which is far greater with far more efficient. For example, the human brain takes only some 27 watts of power, whereas for getting the same output, the power taken by a machine is in billions of watts. It's not even million, it is in billions of watts. So the gap is too huge. We have something which is so unique and so much which can be done. Therefore, we can use AI in such a way that it can always be supporting us rather than overpowering us. It's never going to happen in my personal view. The most important thing is that you need to know how to use it, where to use it, when to use it, and be on top of it. So jobs will not be lost to AI. Humans will lose jobs to other humans who are mastering AI.
Well said, actually. Very well said on that. And coming on the topic of skills, what do you believe should organizations really do to equip their people to work on, to work in a different manner, right? As enterprises are actually investing in technology for the sake of growth and better profitability, how do you get people alongside to make sure that you have the rights, that people are actually upskilling themselves?
Yeah. So there is a little bit of what you can say irony in Gen AI. Why people are afraid of Gen AI? This is my theory. This is not somebody who has told me, but my theory is
Right.
that right since childhood, when we are going to schools or colleges or any place where you study, you are evaluated based on the quality of your answers that you give, based on a question paper that is set for you.
Right.
Suddenly, we are in a situation where you are evaluated, your output will be evaluated based on the quality of questions that you ask rather than the quality of answers that you get.
Indeed.
We call it prompt engineering. So it is like the argument goes on topsy-turvy. We are never used to asking questions the right way to get the best answer, right? As human beings, which is why people are struggling in prompt engineering. And if you don't ask the right questions, you will not get the right answer. It goes back to the Vedic period where people used to discuss any topic based on Q&A. If you go to, say, Bhagavad Gita or any commentary, there will always be a guru who will be answering the questions of the Sishya. Similarly, if you go back to Socrates or Plato or anybody, you will always find it's a Q&A. Knowledge is evolved by asking questions and answers. Here, we have to now freshly get the knowledge of asking questions and getting the answers in the most efficient manner, which is where humans can master the technology. Therefore,
Right.
we need to all learn how to ask questions. Like, for example, prompt engineering is one. We have a program in our company we launched about a year ago, rather than a year and a half ago, as to how to get literate on project AI. So we called it PAL.
Yes.
PAL means Project AI Literacy.
Okay.
So we put a team of people, very smart people who understand AI within our team, because we got a lot of smart people. And they created study material for about 22 courses. And they actually delivered this material to the rest of the finance team.
You did that, the delivery and the entire thing was done in house, or did you
Yes,
do it in partnership
entirely
with
done
the
in-house. And it was a roaring
excellent?
success.
Very nice. Great to
So,
hear
so
that.
this is one. Now we are getting into something called, what we are internally calling it as Project Illuminati, where we are actually looking for people who understand data and analyze data and excel in storytelling. A team of 7 people, which we have just recently started. This will be a 1-year project. So they will again teach data analytics, insights, storytelling, and the works as to how you can improve the influence of your analysis for better decision making and becoming a better
Right.
business partner.
Excellent, excellent. And coming to, as you execute these projects on AI, what could be some of the challenges that organizations will face? And are there some prerequisites that you believe is absolutely important, fundamental, and imperative before you take on projects in AI?
Yeah. So before we actually get into the AI journey, as I earlier mentioned, right, we need to get the organization what I would call AI ready.
Right.
So I use the same analogy again. It is like building the 11th floor of any building. AI is like that. AI or ML is building the 11th floor. You cannot even think of building the 11th floor unless you have got the foundation done and the first 10 floors are built. So, which means that there are certain minimum prerequisites which are compulsory and mandatory without which AI cannot be even thought about.
Right.
Number one is your process. Your processes have to be end to end stitched up.
Mm.
Your systems have to be end to end stitched up. Your data has to be end to end stitched up. Data has to be coming from one source. Single version of truth. Single version of truth, it's a very small word, but it will take years for a company to come to a
Mm.
single version of truth. I have attended
True.
meetings when two departments keep fighting about the data that is being presented, saying that this is my data, this is sales data, this is
Mm.
customer operations data, and all those things. So, getting to a single version of truth itself requires a lot of discipline and a lot of what you can say data integrity, data quality,
Right.
data maturity. So, all these things you have to get the system, process, and data up to a certain level of maturity where
Mm.
the issues are not there and the controls are very robust and a lot of things are automated. I'm not saying 100% automation, at least there should be a minimum level of automation so that the manual intervention is minimized. If the manual intervention is minimized, your data integrity goes up automatically. So
Right.
we took about, I would say, nearly 7 8 years to reach that level of maturity. After that, if you build AI, then you can reap the benefits of AI in a meaningful manner and the output will be very, very fast. Which is why
Mm.
over the last 3 4 years, we were able to implement at least 7 projects, meaningful projects, which we could showcase to the outside world. And luckily, we are fortunate to be awarded as the runner-up for Gartner AI Award. So this year it came
Right.
as a surprise, and we got two
Mm.
runner-up awards. Plus, on agentic AI, that's another topic. Agentic AI is a
Right.
very new topic,
Mm-hmm.
which I would like to touch upon because it is still growing. Right, there's a
Yes.
difference between generative AI and agentic AI. Both are
True.
under the umbrella of AI.
Mm.
Generative AI creates, and agentic AI executes. The creation is done by Gen AI.
Yeah.
The programming is done by Gen AI. Agent is one executor, automatic
Mm.
executor, not a human being, but a machine executor.
Yeah.
So that is now getting very, very popular, and agents are popping up left,
Yeah.
right, and center. So we have already implemented in one of the functions agentic AI,
I see.
which is in supply chain, in
Okay.
procurement, and that has
Mm.
been received very well. And we are the first to implement an agentic AI solution of this nature, first in Asia Pacific.
Mm.
So that has been regarded well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I see. Great, great. Good to know about several of these prerequisites as such, especially on the data front and on the data quality, data integrity, point of view. But let's speak a bit about the impact of AI. So when we look at the measurable impact of these AI initiatives, beyond, like you rightly mentioned, about giving back time to people and help them, cope up with their work-life balance, or even get on to value-added jobs for themselves. Was there any kind of measurable impact or any kind of results that truly surprised you?
I would not say surprised me. What has happened now because of AI is that whenever anybody leaves the organization, the other person, there are at least 2 3 people coming and telling me that I will take this role additionally. So that shows the level of confidence which these people have got in themselves, and
Mm.
also the level of what you can say knowledge which they have developed over a period of time, and
Right.
they are able to take additional responsibilities and they want to learn more. See, what I believe is that you need a learning culture for AI to flourish in any organization, and a mindset of can
Mm.
do mindset. Anything a human can do, an AI can do from the
Right.
mundane aspect. But when it comes to empathy, when it comes to decision making, when it comes to handling volatility, it is
Yeah,
still a subservient animal to the human being.
true.
It will take a little bit more time, as I mentioned earlier. AGI, once it comes, the moment AI works like a human brain with the same level of efficiency, that's when we need to worry. I believe it is at least a few decades, if not a few years away. Some people are
Since
saying in 2030s, some people are saying in 2050s, that there are various predictions for AGI. But AGI is far away. In fact, even the AI definition, there is no common agreed definition for AI.
Right. And talking about your role as a CFO, having implemented several of these AI initiatives, has your role really changed? Are you spending time on innovation, strategy, etc., lesser time on,
Yeah.
tasks used? What kind of role change
Yeah.
have you seen?
So, in fact, when I joined 13 years back, so I got finance as a function, and I got other stakeholders, right? Other stakeholders being one set of stakeholders is other functions, where I have my peers like other CXOs, like CMO, CSO, IT, and then we have our board, which is another important stakeholder, audit committee. So these
Right.
are the various stakeholders we are looking at. I used to, at a very broad level, spend about
Mm-hmm.
70 to 80% of my time for within finance function, and 20% of the time spread 10% for, say, the senior stakeholders, and for the peers maybe 10% of the time. Happy to say that now I'm spending only 50% of the time for finance related activities, and other 50% of the time for business related activities outside of finance. So this is a big shift. So
Mm.
imagine, so which means that the business partnering level is going up. My thought process is that I should spend only 25% for within finance and 75% for business.
Mm.
That is what the expectation of the CEO is also nowadays. The CEOs are expecting CFOs to play much larger strategic business supporting growth oriented roles, not
Right.
just being a bean counter and handling audits and handling accounts and handling audit reports and internal audit and statutory audits and
Right.
filing the returns and compliance and all. Those are like given.
Mm.
You cannot falter on that any which way, because you have to keep people out of jail, right? Because if we make some mistakes here,
Yes.
uh, we have a problem. So those are to be taken care of. That is where technology plays
That
a
is table
very
stakes. Yeah.
major
Mm.
role to
Mm.
take away the time which
Yeah.
CFO spends, so that he can concentrate. I spend a lot of time traveling to the market, for example.
Right, right. Very well put there. I think together with the role of the CFO, when the CFO is actually able to play, more on the business side, I think it delivers significant impact on the organization, because the way a CFO really looks at the numbers, and when that coupled with the deep business, I would say partnership, is likely to give a lot of value add to the organization. If we were to look a little bit into the crystal ball, 5 years into the future, and actually maybe see one application of AI in finance that doesn't exist today, what do you think that is likely to be?
Yeah. So, in fact, today morning I was talking to one of my team members, because I have this habit of meeting every team member once every 6 months on a one-to-one basis. So, in fact, I was talking to him saying that 10 years back, or 2017, on one fine morning, I sat and wrote some 268 points, saying that these are
Mhm.
the things which we should deliver. And in the last 8 years, we have delivered 200 out of those 268 points. So, what was written on a single day, it took us 8 years to complete 80% of it.
Mhm.
So I am always a list person. I keep writing down these
Mm.
long lists. So there are many things which I think will happen in future. In fact, some of them you can see it in the last chapter of my book also. I have
Mm.
written a book on called CFO Playbook. So in that it is there. It has been released recently. But
Yeah.
just to summarize, one of the things which I believe would be ubiquitous is that there will not be a person who doesn't use a chatbot, voice chatbot.
Mm.
Meaning, a CFO, typically, if I were to ask any question, okay, what is the variance analysis? What I do, I ask this question, write a mail or write a WhatsApp message to my team member saying that, okay, analyze this
Right.
for the last 5 years, last 6 years. So all those WhatsApp and mails and all will go away. You will be DIY, asking or maybe talking to a chatbot like a
Mm.
Siri, saying that, okay, tell me what was the revenue 6 months back, 1 year back, 10 years back, 15 years back, all those things. data will be just a phone call away, or a voice message away. You can
Right.
actually chat, like chat
Yeah.
GPT, and get those answers which are very, very detailed in nature with some analytical inputs. It will be like you have a Jeeves in front of you,
Yeah.
like PG Wodehouse Jeeves. You have somebody
Yeah.
like that ready to answer every question of yours. I think that
Yeah.
will become more prevalent by 2030, 2035, or something like that, is what I feel.
Right.
You don't need to
That's
depend on
interesting.
humans. Yeah.
Yes. And based on those responses, then your agentic AI will start taking action on that.
Yeah. Agent itself will tell you, Samba, today you are supposed to ask this question.
Yes.
Why are you not asking this question?
Right.
It will
Right.
prompt you for
Interesting.
asking the question
Absolutely.
rather.
Yes.
Based on the previous, every year if I'm saying April, I'm asking these kind of questions. May, I'm asking
Yes.
this kind of question. Next April, it's say, okay,
Yeah.
last April you asked me these 10 questions. Now you're asking only
Yes.
five out of them. Why are you not asking the other five? Because I've
Yes.
forgotten,
Yes.
right? So
Yes. And it'll probably say last year you asked me to do this and this is what I've done so far. Yeah.
yes, yes. Or it
Excellent.
will say,
Yeah.
okay, these are the 10 questions you have asked last year. Now you ask me the 11 questions. These are the same questions. If you ask this year, this is the answer. Now ask me the 11th question. It
Yeah.
could be anything, right? So
Great. Thank you, Samba, for sharing your insights. I think it's really fascinating to hear your point of view. To our listeners, stay tuned for more episodes on the bottom line of AI, where we continue to explore the intersection of technology and finance leadership. Until next time, this is Srividya Kannan signing off. Thank you.